Hi everyone, I'm Martin, aka that UK gamer, with, as promised in my last video, some Japanese pickups from this year. Enjoy. Welcome back everyone. So, yeah, firstly, again, I'd like to say thank you to anyone who watched the last video, who's new to the channel, viewing videos or subscribing. Much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please feel free to, and if you do, hope you'll get updates on future videos and I hope you enjoy them as well. Yeah, so I've recently started doing more Twitch streams for the Xbox One. I have been doing GTA lately. I will be doing Jedi Fallen Order shortly, and I'm going to be start doing Sonic Generations, I'm hoping. So there'll be a link down to that below. So, with these video games pickups, you may know that as well as going for obviously English ones, I'm actually a big fan of Japanese games as well. Have been for a while. I think the first one I bought was Pokemon Soul Silver in like 2009, maybe 9, I think. And I've bought a few since then. Not just Pokemon. I've got, well, this shelf here. They're all Japanese 64 games, and they are double depth, as are these boxes here. But I also have a load of Sega games now, Dreamcast and Saturn. So I'll be sharing a couple of them in the video. They're all the way at the top there. And I've got a couple of odd ones, a couple of PlayStations, like the FIFAs for my FIFA collection, a couple of Xbox, which I'm going to show, and one SNES game. Oh, and I'm starting to build up a few GameCube games, but I think I've sort of mentioned them in previous videos. I do have a Japanese GameCube as well. So, yeah, anyway. In this video, I wanted to show off some of the Japanese games that I've got this year. I think one or two might have been from eBay. Otherwise, they've come from Allan's Japanese Retro Games on Facebook, link below, and Super Retro Bros. And I want to give a shout out to Nath Retro 1 for making me aware of Super Retro Bros. I've now bought loads of them, so thanks, mate. Yeah, I'll give a link to them as well, and to Nath Retro 1 as well. And my hair is ridiculously itchy right now. So, 5 games in this video. I may do a part 2 in a minute, I don't know. Or I might leave it a bit, then record it. I've still got another week off work, so at the time of filming. I think we'll get into the pickups then. So, as I said, I'm collecting Japanese 64 games. And one thing I like about Japanese 64 games is, one, it helps me with my Japanese. I'm learning it. Secondly, there's quite a few cool exclusives. I've got the original Pokemon Stadium, which we never got. Ours was a second release. Hey You Pikachu, which got an American release, but not a PAL one. I've got Tamagotchi. I've got Mahjong and all that as well. But also, a load of the games that are actually expensive in English are actually really cheap. For example, at MCM Comic Con in London, I spent £30. I believe it was Allan's Retro Games again. And I can't remember all the games, but I know 5 of the ones I bought were Paper Mario, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Banjo-Tooie, and Ocarina of Time. I technically already had Ocarina of Time in Japanese, however there's 3 different versions, so I'm trying to get all 3. I've got 2 of them now. I've got the normal original one without a letter and the one ending in B, which is the one we got in English. I'm looking for the one ending A. Examples include Galen's blood goes from red to green, and they remove what's perceived as Islamic chanting from the fight temple music. But I also got a couple more. I think one of the puzzle games and a hockey game or baseball game or something like that all came to £30. Just an example. So if you follow this before, you'll know how expensive some of them cartridge games are. Banjo-Tooie, Mario Party 3 especially, Paper Mario. So, yeah. I mean, it's even more fun if you can't read it fully. Yeah. So, that's why I've got them. And if this does go slightly wrong, it's because something happened, so I had to cut the video off and start again. So if it does move a bit all over the place, I apologise. Yeah. And an example of what I was just talking about is this game, which cost me £5 from eBay. I can't remember the full Japanese name, but it's Kirby and the Crystal Shards. So Kirby 64. This was for £5 or £4.50 or something like that. I know in English it goes for quite a bit, just cartridge only. So I think we're talking like at least 15, probably even more than that if I'm honest. So yeah, here's an example of what the back of a Japanese 64 game looks like. So haven't got around to trying it yet, but I'm going to because I really want to try Kirby 64. As far as I'm aware, it's like a side-scrolling game, so that's cool. Traditional 2D platformer S game, so I'll give that a good go. I'm really intrigued to try this. And also look, penguin with the hammer. So yeah. Okay, the next two are for the Sega Dreamcast, and are actually a pair of games. They were the only ones for the franchise, I believe, released in Dreamcast that I'm aware of. And it's your typical Japanese anime style game. They revolve around the anime Happy Lesson, which I don't think is actually that well known. I just happen to know of it because of a friend from a few years ago. There's basically a kid whose parents died. He was listed in an orphanage with his two girls, got to know them, they became sisters. One's a schoolgirl, one's a high, well-known musician. And he goes to school, and 5 of his teachers become his adoptive mums, basically. And it's chaos. Almost harem-esque, but without the whole anything actually happening kind of thing. So, yeah. It's quite amusing, actually. I said it's called Happy Lesson. And this is the first one with the 5 teachers. I can't remember all their names, though. But as far as I remember, that's an art teacher. That's a science one. She's sports. I think one of them's English or Japanese. I think that's the nurse. I think her name's Yayoi, if I remember rightly. I think that might be Kisaragi. I think. It's been a while since I watched it, so I'm a bit rusty on it. But I got this and the other game pretty cheap, so I think it's almost a dating sim game. But I only bought it because I actually wanted some proper anime games on the Dreamcast. It just felt like the right thing to do. Being a Japanese console, going for Japanese games, and I have quite a lot of manga. I do a fair bit of anime actually as well, including this. But so it all ties in really for me. This just happened to be a series I knew and was really cheap. Yeah. So thanks. So this one is Happy Lesson. This one is Happy Lesson, First Lesson. I think it's first. It's either first or fast lesson. I think it's first lesson, so that makes more sense, doesn't it? And I think it's basically the same sort of game, just different story, I think. Really need to give them a try. I've got to get my Dreamcast is set up. I've got a disc for playing Japanese because the modded one side would be a bit weird. So it wouldn't work, so I've got to try that. But yeah, these are Happy Lesson. And I've also noticed that this one also apparently says no resale. So I don't know why that is, whether it's part of a bundle or something. Has anyone ever actually heard of Happy Lesson or seen it? If you have, let me know. Because I'm just genuinely intrigued. Yeah, it is fun. I will admit that. And they came from... I think that either came from Super Retro Bros or eBay. And that one came from Allan's Japanese Retro Games. 2 more games. Both of these came from Allan's Retro's Japanese games. And they are for the original Xbox. And they're a pairing in the same franchise, but one's a main series game, one's a spin-off. So we'll go with the main series game, and then you can probably work out what the spin-off is from that, to be honest. It is Dead or Alive 3. So, if you haven't figured out from this video and the last video, I am a fan of Dead or Alive, namely Casimir there. Yeah, also where the Casimir my Xbox gamer tag came from. So, yeah. This wasn't very much. I can't remember how much it was. I bought in a bundle. Possibly even with a Happy Lesson game, actually. It's a 2D... Sorry, not 2D. Well, 2D in that it's a side-on fighting game. But you can move around the stage. You can fall off cliffs and that sort of thing. It's actually a very good fighter, I have to admit. It's my also personal favourite out of like Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and Mortal Kombat. This is my favourite series of the lot. Same the movie weren't so great. But yeah. Also, I've just noticed the soundtrack says it features songs by Aerosmith. So there you go. Amazing, 9 Lives, and Home Tonight. There's the back. Not very much text really. So yep. You have some guy back punch someone on the floor. That's Casimir. That is Brad Wong. He's awesome. He's drunk basically. Yeah. So that's cool. And so, given it's Dead or Alive, I'm sure you can tell what the other game's going to be, can't you? I am, of course, talking about Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. What else was it going to be for Dead or Alive? I'm sorry. So, yeah. This is basically where the girls from Dead or Alive are all put onto a tropical island and basically left there by themselves. Yeah, you can guess how it goes. The main thing is supposed to be the volleyball, but there's other stuff. I think you can buy gifts for the girls, some water activities, I think, casino. But what I would say, to be fair, is it's actually a very solid volleyball game. It actually probably the best one I've actually played. Not that I've played loads, but I played a couple, and it's actually the best one. And I think this one has 2-player, whereas if I remember rightly, the 360 one is only 1-player, which is a bit weird, I have to admit. But yeah, as long as you don't mind all the girls in bikinis, if you want a volleyball game, this is actually one worth checking out, I have to admit. So yeah, but it's very how do I say? Not surprising that this has been made. I really am not surprised. In fact, you may have seen me show the 3rd one on Switch a little while ago, where I also showed that Waifu Uncovered one. So yeah, but yeah, it's a good volleyball game. I'll give it that. And they are just some of the Japanese games that I've got this year. I said there are a few more. I think mostly for Saturn and Dreamcast. So apart from the FIFAs, which I might share. So I'll probably record them at some point as well and share them. In fact, I might just do it in a minute. Don't know if I'll be bothered or not. But yeah, either way, I'll be doing it. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be the next video. Have you played any of them? The Kirby and the Dead or Alive are in English as well, so I'd expect probably them. But never know. Hope you enjoyed the video. There's more pickups to come. Try and come up with a couple of new series and a couple of new streams, both on here and on Twitch. So I'll have links to the Twitch channel as well down below. What else we got? Anything interesting? Don't think so. Okay. Thank you for watching. And if you leave a like, comment or subscribe, it's all very much appreciated. And I hope to see you in the next video. I'm signing out.